Hello again, everyone. Welcome to this new installment of the Wrestling Analyst. Uh, Today, I decided to make a special video about special stipulation matches, their purpose, and why are we using them, and everything. Now, I'm making this about the news that WWE will probably eliminate premium live events named after stipulation matches like Hell in a Cell, Money in the Bank, maybe Elimination Chamber, Elimination Chamber will take place in February in Montreal, and maybe TLC, Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. Uh, Now, I think eliminating those is a good idea because stipulation matches should only be used to settle big feuds. And Hell in a Cell was first used with, I think, was Mankind versus The Undertaker. Or maybe Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. I don't remember which one was first, but this kind of match was used as a last resort match and everything. But now with its special live event every year, in which we have 2 or 3 Hell in a Cell matches every year, it has lost a bit of its luster. It has lost a bit of its meaning. It's just tables, ladders, and chairs, the same thing. You have a tables match, you have a ladder match, you have a chairs match, and you have a tables, ladders, and chairs match. Now, all those are good things, but when you see those kind of matches too often, they tend to lose their meaningfulness. The purpose of a stipulation match is to put an end, final period, if you want, to a big feud. The best example I can come up with this recently was the Fight Pit match between Rollins and Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle. That match settled the feud once and for all, in which Matt Riddle finally got his big win over Seth. And you see, the feud was over right after that, even though they battled for the United States title a couple of weeks after. But you see, the feud is over. That's the purpose of special matches, special stipulation matches. Now, the Extreme Rule premium live event, having stipulation matches for every match is counterproductive. Because each of them, just for this premium live event, they just become just another match, you know. That's why when you use too much of a good thing, it becomes normal. That's not what those stipulation matches are for. They are there to put an extra meaning on matches. I'd prefer to have one stipulation matches on every premium live event than having stipulation matches all concentrated on 1 or 2 premium live events. And the worst thing about that is that you had Extreme Rules And right after that, you had NXT's Halloween Havoc. Right after, so it's two premium live events with special stipulation matches, and you get what's the word I'm looking for? You get not bored, but I mean you get bored is a good synonym. Like I say, it just becomes another match, and that's not good because you want those special stipulation matches to mean something. At Halloween Havoc, you had Cora Jade versus Roxanne Perez in a Weapons Wild match, and that did settle the feud. But the ambulance match didn't settle anything except that Brutus is still in NXT. So, like I'm saying, the only reason you should use a stipulation match is to end a heated feud. The exception for that, Survivor Series War Games. I love the idea of bringing War Games to Survivor Series because War Games was essentially created back in WCW, and it was created essentially to counter the Survivor Series concept. So bringing those two together, because what is War Games? It's a mix of Royal Rumble and Survivor Series in a two-ring cage. That's essentially what is War Games. Because you have two guys starting, and then one every 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, I think, whatever the concept will be this year, going in the cage, and the only thing is there's not one sole survivor, it's the one team that wins. But essentially, that's what War Games is. It's a Survivor Series mixed with Royal Rumble in a double ring cage. So, mixing those two together, having Survivor Series in War Games makes sense because of that. And at the same event, you can have classic Survivor Series matches and having one or two War Games match, one for the women and one for the men. During the event. One thing I didn't like, I didn't like it a bit, brand versus brand. I don't think this is coming back this year because there's no championship. Well, the only match we would maybe get brand versus brand would be the women's titles with Bianca Belair and Ronda Rousey right now, and the U.S. title with Seth Rollins versus Gunther. Those are the two brand versus brand matches we would get for championships, because we all know Roman is the undisputed champion. We all know the Usos are the undisputed tag team champions, and they can't fight themselves. So I think the brand versus brand concept might disappear this year. Maybe they'll bring it back in the future. I don't know. But I love the idea of bringing War Games in Survivor Series. Now, the one thing I didn't like about the brand versus brand is that it was predictable. Raw would always win, except in 2019 when NXT was brought in, and to my surprise, NXT won the competition 4-1, and it's the only time SmackDown won more matches than Raw. And even though, but Raw is like Vince's baby, so he would always make Raw win. Now I don't know what happened in 2019 for him to authorize a win for NXT, uh, and that I found that very refreshing that year that NXT won the brand supremacy war. Um, so keep, for promoters out there, okay? I have participated in wrestling shows that had stipulation matches on every single match, and I never liked that concept just because special matches, special stipulations become just another match during those nights. And I was, for the first 2 or 3 years, I think, for the first 2 years at least, of this special show that was called Saint Jean Baptiste Day Massacre in New Wrestling Championship. For the first few years, I was saying that I was doing, and I was a heel at that time, and I would always say I would do a scientific match where you weren't allowed to cheat, no objects, and no. But of course, I cheated the whole match, but I never used an object in the match or anything. But I cheated all the way through the match, and the referee never caught me. But you classic heel heat, But it was just to make. It's not that I was afraid to do stipulation matches, not at all. I did some crazy shit back in the day, not neons or whatever. But I did do some weapons, fans bring the weapons matches and things like that. But I wanted my match to be different than all the others. And I wanted to have a classic wrestling match in those events so that my match would be different from all the other ones. So, but one year I did do, in that show, I did do a special stipulation matches, special stipulation match that I named the Patriotic match. Uh, Basically, it was a flag match in which, after you retrieved your flag, you had to knock your opponent almost. You had to get the 3 count with your flag covering your opponent for the ultimate humiliation. And by the way, I won that match, but that's that's beside the point. And so that's it. But like I say, for promoters out there, don't overdo stipulation matches because they become just another match. Use those kind of matches to settle big feuds once and for all, and that's it. You're going to keep those matches special. You're going to keep those matches, and you got to, when you book those matches, go more into details. Plan spots during the matches. Whatever the match is. If it's a ladder match, go with the wrestlers and plan spots using the ladders and make those matches special. But don't overuse them. That's my advice as a former booker, and because, like I say, they just become another match when you overuse them. So, if you have any comments, please leave them on this video. You can always reach me by Twitter at Luc Beaulieu1, and that's it. I'm gonna share a special email pretty soon for your comments and everything. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate. I'll answer them when I can in my next few videos. So have a nice day, everyone.